Guys, and welcome back to another Access Institute video, and in today's video I'm back with another interview and I'm here with Lianne Bush. Lianne, how are we?
I'm alright, thank you. Are you?
I am great, thank you. Thank you very much for coming on the channel.
No problem, thanks for having me.
Great, and so am I right in saying you're a 35-year-old featherweight who's 3-1?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Great, okay, and so if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, I'm going to start off with the question which I always like to start off with. Why did you start boxing?
I started boxing because, I got back into boxing because I had my daughter when I was 26 and just wanted to get rid of the baby weight and stuff. I'd done martial arts when I was younger. I started martial arts when I was 5.
Okay.
Went away from it, came back to it, but I actually started with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and then progressed back into the striking because I just really preferred it. But boxing specifically, tried to have a go at Thai boxing, kickboxing, but the fights weren't really there, so it just sort of fell into boxing.
That's good to hear, good to hear. And so, do you remember what happened in your first amateur fight?
So, I haven't done the amateurs.
Okay.
My background is unlicensed, more of an MMA background. So, the amateur experience isn't there, but we're making up for that with some really good sparring. And obviously my trainer Rendell, who's been there and done it at the highest level, so
definitely, yeah, that's fair, that's fair. And so is there any kind of big names in a way that you've managed to spar so far?
yeah, early on when I turned over, I went up and did some sessions with Terry Harper. Steffi Bull helped me out in that respect because she had a lot of experience, whereas I was just coming through with next to no experience. And Ellis Hopkins, we regularly spar Ellis. She's 3-0 currently. And we just try and get around and spar different girls. I've done a few rounds with Lisa Whiteside. The difficulty with the females is it's a lot of travel because we're few and far between.
That's fair, that's fair. And so, why did you end up turning professional when you did?
It's just the opportunity was there, really. I'd done relatively well in the unlicensed fights, and we knew that female professional boxing was going from strength to strength.
Definitely.
And the opportunity was there, so we thought we'd give it a go, which I think a lot of females have. Like I know Stevie Levy, she's from an unlicensed background, and Hannah Rankin. So, it's worth having a go and seeing how far you can go with it, really.
Definitely, definitely. And so far you've managed to get the 3 professional wins, and so out of them 3, which one would you say you've performed your best in?
My debut, definitely.
Okay.
With FD. Yeah, that was a really, really, really tough fight. Like most professional bouts, early on, you don't know your opponent straight away because it's not until you sort of progress up and you start working towards titles that you start picking specific opponents. So early on, you just train and you get an opponent in. But I think we'd booked FD on a week notice. So, and I'd seen a record and I was pretty nervous. It was my debut anyway. I'd sold a lot of tickets, and I knew she was very strong and very aggressive. But I managed to get the win, so pretty proud of that. And she definitely came to put it on me that night. So it was a good fight.
Good. And so, I mean, I'm sure with your debut came a lot of pressure. And so, would you say you kind of thrive under that pressure?
Yeah, I think it's the same with sparring. I think when you go there and you've got a few nerves in your belly because either you don't know who it is you're sparring, perhaps you haven't seen much of them, or you know that they're a very good boxer and you're sparring them. Just going away into somebody else's gym, maybe there's a few people watching. It just heightens all your senses a little bit more. And I find that that's when I step it up a little bit, a bit more switched on, thinking a bit more, less, take less silly chances. And I do think I perform better under pressure, yeah.
Definitely good to hear. And so, well, unfortunately, you have suffered this first defeat, and so,
Yeah.
how are you kind of aiming to bounce back from that defeat?
Yeah, I mean, suffered a defeat, definitely, but for me, it's not so much a bad thing. I learnt a lot from that
Yeah.
fight. It's made me step into this camp with a lot more focus. Made me focus on things that lost me the fight, because it was a close fight. There was just a point in it. So in a way, it was a good thing to happen. Stop me getting a bit complacent, which I potentially was.
Yeah.
But to bounce back from it is exactly what I've said. You know, I've not taken it hard, and I don't disagree with the decision. So bouncing back is taking it as motivation and seeing what lost us the fight, and we've really, really, really worked on that this time.
That's great. That's great. And so you are working or are on a card with Carlbrick Greaves Promotions, and so what's it like working with them?
Yeah, Carl's my manager. Just signed over with him in November.
Okay.
He's a lovely guy. He's already laid out the plan for this year, things that we can work towards, which is really exciting. And it's all really straightforward. Gave me the fight day, gave me the weight, gave me the opponent. So all sorted with like 8 weeks, 9 weeks to train for. So nothing to worry about really, other than obviously the fight. But in terms of, you know, I knew what I needed to do in the camp. We've got potentially a southpaw, so gives us 8 weeks to work on that as well.
Good. And so it's a fight for March 11th, am I right in saying?
Yeah, we've got 5 weeks on Saturday, so still 5 weeks to go. Camp's going really well. Weight's coming off really easily. Got a great nutritionist, Jack. So feeling really fit as well. Jack got some testing done. Look at my fitness levels and at what heart rate I'm burning fat, and at what heart rate I should be training at to build my fitness up. So that's added a new dynamic to the training as well. So we're getting the heart rate monitor on, making sure that I'm hitting certain levels at different training, and it's made camp a lot more focused, but it's made some of camp a lot more enjoyable as well. Rather than going out and running 6-7 miles really fast, thinking that's what's going to get the cardio up, we're using those to cut the weight, and that's how the weight's dropping off.
Definitely. And so would you kind of say your priorities are in the right position now?
Yeah, a lot more focus, nutrition spot on. We've got some cracking sparring, regular sparring. It's all falling into place. And again, the loss, it just means that I'm totally focused, leaving no stone unturned as well.
That's great. Okay. And so for anybody who's not kind of watched you fight before, might be wanting to come and watch this March 11th fight, what would you say kind of makes you interesting as a fighter?
I think what made me interesting before was I'm quite a sharp boxer. To say that I haven't done the amateurs, got good foot movement, good head movement, good defence. I feel like I could put the shots in as well. But what's going to be more exciting about this fight that we've been working on is we're going to press forward a lot more. Going to up the work rate. So when I say what lost me the fight, and what we've reflected on and seen I should have done was been a lot more active, not been happy to be pressed on the back foot, do more of what works. If people ask me what lost it me, I just say I was lazy. That's how I say it. So, like I say, there's no ego about it. I know what lost me the fight. So we're coming to rectify all of that. And because we've had so much sparring, there's a lot of, nice combination shots that I was perhaps a bit apprehensive to throw in fights before that have been landing. So the confidence there is there with that as well.
Definitely. Great. And so, well, you are very early on still in your career, and so it seems like you've got a good plan for especially this year. And so, how far do you believe you can go?
I mean, the plan that we've talked about for this year starts at an area level title, which is exciting for the females because as the weight classes deepen, England and British, it means that we can start fighting for titles that weren't available before, because there weren't two girls in the same weight, in the same area to contend for anything. So obviously my opponent, who I lost to, Vicky, she went on to win the Midlands area title in her fight last year. So it means that there's more opportunities to build our way up, because what you found with the girls is they've been going in at world title shots after 4 or 5 fights, because that's the jump. It's have your debut, have some fights, and then it was only really Commonwealth, European and world available. But I'm in no rush, still got 5-6 years left in me. So we can take it bit by bit, enjoy the process. We're still learning as well. Like I said, I didn't do the amateurs, so I'm in no rush. I'm not calling out world champions or anything like that. Obviously aspirations are the same as anybody, but I want to, not run before I can walk, and be able to get excited about the fights rather than feeling under pressure unnecessarily, really.
That's a good mindset, great mindset. And so I'll leave with just final question, which you always like to ask. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Would you like to shout anything out?
Yeah, I did an interview a couple of weeks ago, and at the end I forgot all my sponsors. So it's just thanking all my sponsors. I've got sponsors that are good friends and come to see me every fight. Strange Haulage, Fox Vintage, and then I've got sponsors that have sponsored the gym that I was at before, because I've recently moved gyms, but they've stayed with me, such as Auto Rooms 34. I've got great PT, Tom Henstock, great nutritionist, Jack Coke. I've got support from other sponsors such as Rain Clothing, and they've all made it possible either by buying tickets or funding part of camp or just sharing a post. But and it's thanks to people that come to the fights as well, and people that have supported me. They may not still be sponsors, but they've been there and they've made it all possible. So thanks to them.
Definitely great news. And so it seems like I might be around for this upcoming fight of yours, and there at the event. And so
brilliant.
Yes, and so maybe after your fight we can do a kind of live interview there.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, I'll look out for you. Well, you know where to come and find me.
Definitely, great. Okay, well, thank you very much. And
thank you.
So if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like video, and thanks for watching.